Hey guys, welcome to Game Bet today, bringing another video for our weapon blueprint series, and today we'll be covering specifically the Resonant AK blueprint here as part of the DR Karlov Lives bundle, and then how it almost looks like something that we've been asking for in this game for quite a long time, and how I think there's high hopes to have this added in the future. So, first off, let's just jump into the bundle here as part of the Hunting of Verdansk week to kick off here. That's going to be taking place all the way through Halloween, so the rest of the month here in October. One of the bundles we have is a DR Karlov Lives bundle available in store for 2,800 COD points. So first off, we have the DR Karlov skin here for Bale. And then second off, we have the Resonate blueprint for the AK-47, the Efflux blueprint for the MP7. Then we also have a melee weapon, a vehicle skin. We have the Tesla Coil Charm Out of Mind sticker, alternating current calling card. We also have an emblem and a spray that come with this bundle as well. So all available for 2,400 COD points. And I'll look at both the weapons here and the actual skin here for Bale. But mainly, if we back out, we're going to be focusing on this blueprint here for the AK, more specifically the handguard that we have here. So this is the final design for the blueprint. So first off, let's just build the blueprint. I'll compare it, and then we'll go into some more details and what I'm talking about with what we can expect to hopefully be added here soon down the road with this weapon. So go ahead and back out, and we'll strip this down to base. So we'll build this out from scratch. We're going to go ahead and run with the barrel. Again, this one we're going to want the Romanian 23-inch barrel. So this is going to help us with the damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, the cons being the ADS speed and the movement speed for this weapon. Now, there's some obviously different Franken-smithing options here, so keep that in mind. We're going to be looking at those in a second. Now, the optic, we're going to want that monolithic, or excuse me, not the monolithic. We're going to want the, where is it here? We're going to want that OPK-7 optic, I believe it's called in real life, the Monaco Reflex here. So again, this is just precision sight picture, standard red dot sight here, Russian red dot sight for the AK-47. So we'll go ahead and select that. Stock, we're going to leave at base. For the perk on the blueprint, it comes with sleight of hand. For the grip, we're going to go ahead and run the stipple grip tape. This is going to assist with the aim down sight speed and the sprint to fire speed. So we'll go ahead and put that on there. And then for the ammunition, we're going to want that 40-round Elite Spetsnaz mag there. And you can see the different versions here. It's actually a really nice, clean-looking version. We have some writing there, but again, it's Russian, so it looks pretty fitting for the weapon. And that's our final design. Now, obviously, this magazine is just going to keep us with the 7.62 by 39 millimeter. Just going to up us from 30 rounds to a 40-round magazine here for the AK-47. So this is the final design for the Resonate blueprint here. Available as the DR Karlov bundle. Now, a few things to note here as we're previewing this weapon. A lot of you guys tweeted me with photos from the, and I'll show these on screen, photos from the trailer yesterday showing what was, this weapon was silhouetted. I believe his Thron or whatever his Throne was carrying it. One of the operators there in the trailer was carrying this weapon. It was silhouetted from the side. You couldn't really see detail, and all of you pointed out that it looked a lot like the Alpha AK that we've been asking for, or some sort of modernized AK with the handguard. So that's what I thought, and then I think someone else pointed out this bundle here, which is what it actually ended up being. But if I go ahead and back out here really quick, I'm going to go, let's look at some of these other builds quickly, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So first off, if I look at one of the other builds here, my custom modifications here, same attachments. I think this is a really neat looking bundle you can make, or blueprint weapon with using Franken-smithing. Throw the monolithic suppressor on there, attack laser, and a holographic sight, and again, you're using that base blueprint as a Resonate. It looks pretty nice and stylish, actually. Really brings it more up in line with a modernized type AK. And then just some other ones here. The problem is you have that orange electrical wires on the blueprint that do not change, as you can see with the camouflage. They're always going to stay orange. So for this particular blueprint, this build that I made, I put the Spetsnaz red, or as it's called in game here, the Autumn Dazzle on this. And this would actually kind of more so go in line. And since we're running attack laser on this, we could almost, if we were running attack laser, we could almost fantasize that those are just the wiring on the weapon feeding to the attack laser on the opposite side. But you can see there, it looks really nice. You have the built-in foregrip there as well, so that this particular barrel attachment takes away your ability to put on any underbarrel attachments. So you have the built-in foregrip with the weapon, and this particular one we're running the 5.45 rounds, and I'm using actually with this one the Warsaw blueprint at base, and I'm just selecting the Romanian blueprint for the Resonate for that Romanian barrel on this. The reason I'm using the Warsaw is because we get that more US palm pistol grip on there, and we also have I put a different buttstock on there, but I think it just looks cleaner with the pistol grip there as part of the lower receiver on this weapon. It looks nice and neat, especially with that Spetsnaz Red of the Autumn Dazzle. It looks really nice on this particular weapon. Now, if I back out and we go to, I have just a base one here built, the same one we just looked at, just in all black. Let's go ahead and look at it in the player menu here. So you can see that with Bale walking with this thing, and from the opposite side here on the right hand side of the weapon, it looks, with that silhouette, it looks almost identical to an AK with a Vieltor weapon system, Vieltor CMRD full-length keymod handguard on the weapon. So that's what I thought it was with the silhouette that we saw in the trailer that you guys pointed out, and it looks very, very similar. Obviously, if we're looking at it silhouetted from the side, I think basically the length and the look of it is all right. It's just they have these cords and stuff on here for the blueprint, which kind of takes away from it, but not so much. I think we can kind of go with this for now. But that's why I'm saying if I show that Vieltor weapon system one here on screen, you can see the similarities. Basically, the shape of it is exactly the same. You can see on the top of this weapon where the cords here are for the electricity going, but that top where the gas block would be on there, you can see it's covered underneath the new handguard on this weapon. Same with the Vieltor keymod handguard would be. You can see it looks more so like it would be 90 degrees in this case, and how the weapon looks overall. So again, from the other side, it looks shape-wise, if it's silhouetted, almost identical to that or any other modernized type of AK handguard, maybe a Zenico type rail system on there as well. So back out, go ahead and look at, I want to do one more thing, and I'll show those, preview those in game. But if I were to just select the base AK-47 and let's put on those same attachments just so you guys can see how it compares. For the optic, we'll just throw on, we can go ahead and put on the monocle. We'll leave the stock, we'll skip the perks since we really don't need it. Simple pistol grip and the 40 round magazine. So this is the AK with the same attachments essentially. So let's just look at, there's actually a length difference in the barrel now with this new blueprint. So this is what it would look like with that Romanian barrel with that built-in foregrip there. And then this is what it looks like with the Resonate blueprint. So you can see you're taking away probably about, I want to say 5 inches maybe. Anywhere from 3 to 5, I would say. Realistically, it's definitely drastically shorter on this weapon. You even have, with this one, the reason it looked more so like from the silhouette, like an Alpha AK or something with a Vieltor Systems handguard on there. You have this fat, what looks like muzzle brake compensator combo on the end, which we would see on a lot of the Alpha AK builds, especially here in real life. Even something that's a more modernized Russian Spetsnaz version of the AK. So I think they can make that version of the AK. They just need to change up a few things, get rid of the cords, and they can easily, they have the shape of this already built. They just need to change the handguard visuals, and you're all set to go. And we have a nice modernized Alpha AK or even the Vieltor keymod handguard AK, which would look beautiful. So really quick, if I were to put any other muzzle device on this, you can see it actually adds it to the end of that, and you can see the tactical suppressor looks really nice. Muzzle brake, you can see what that looks like on there too. Just adds it to the end of that, what already looks like a fat muzzle brake on the end there. And you can see if we would put on like a Revolution or something, how that would look. It looks a little odd, so you're almost better off putting on a suppressor, either a PBS4 or just a tactical one. You can see how that looks very nice as well. But this is the final design. Really quick, let me show you guys what the MP7 looks like, and then we'll just jump and I'll show all of these builds off in the gameplay as well. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. And then you can see here the E-Flux for the MP7. It's running the monolithic, the FFS Recon, no stock, 50 round magazine, and the Merc foregrip. Now these weapons do have dismemberment effects, and they shoot electric. They have like the electric tracer rounds on them essentially. So you can see here, actually a pretty nice looking MP7. And like I said, I'm really hoping for the AK, I'm really hoping that they use this exact blueprint and just change it up, the cosmetics a little bit, and give us a Vieltor keymod handguard, or even the Alpha AK handguard with that Zenico rail system on there would be just beautiful. And then but you basically have it here. But essentially now I'm going to be running the 23-inch Romanian barrel on this weapon. But one other thing to note here, now that we have that Romanian barrel on there for the Resonate blueprint, if I were to select, let's just say, a standard AK with a Spetsnaz barrel on there, how does the length compare now? You can see it's almost identical, right? So obviously the standard barrel length, even with the Spetsnaz barrel, is drastically shorter than 23 inches. You can see they're basically the exact same length now. So you really have a shorter, compact, standard length AK with this, using the 23-inch Romanian handguard, which is really nice to see. So you can see that that's the final weapon. I already showed you what it looked like with one of the camouflages on there, but just so you guys get another look at what the other ones look like, you can see it will cover everything, especially depending on your magazine that you're using. But everything will change minus that orange, those orange wires that are feeding what is supposed to be the electrical system on this. So like I said, really your best bet is to run this all black and just kind of ignore the wires and just think of it as wire management or cable management. And then you can run the Spetsnaz Red or the Auto Dazzle, and really it kind of blends in and fits along with the weapon. And especially the right-hand side of the handguard does look beautiful. I wish they just kept it like that and got rid of the wires, and we could essentially just call it a Alpha AK almost, or even with the VL Tour weapon system handguard on there. Even though there's no Picatinny rail dust cover on this weapon, I'm actually fine with that as long as we can get an actual modernized handguard that looks like this. But let's go ahead now and we'll jump into the gameplay for this weapon again. You can see me using this, and I'll just preview this one and some of the other builds that I just showed off here in the game here. We'll look at just the previews for the weapons as I inspect them. You can see just how nice they are and how they handle. And I was actually running this in the new Zombies mode of Battle Royale today a little bit, and it's actually a lot of fun to use. I was using one of my builds with the 5.45, and then I also used one with the Spetsnaz 40-round mag on there with a thermal hybrid sight, and it's definitely a lot of fun to use. I think this is really, the AK's always been one of my favorite weapons, and I'm definitely going to start using it probably even more so now that we have this nice looking handguard. Like I said, I think you can see these builds that we're inspecting and shooting, they look very aesthetically pleasing. It's a nice modernized take on the AK from like a futuristic point of view that they're going for, like a sci-fi feel that they're going for. But again, I can almost, it seems to me that they've basically looked at the Veltor Keymod handguard, or maybe even an Alpha AK handguards that are from Zeneco, and basically modeled this after that and just added in their own flair almost. Because like I said, the silhouette is almost identical as we saw in the trailer, and that's what really made me think it was an Alpha AK or a Veltor weapon system Keymod handguard. But that's really it's interesting. I'm curious to see, because we haven't seen the FSB bundle come yet, and that's been scheduled since season 4, I believe, and now we're in season 6 and we still don't have it. So perhaps, just maybe, we're gonna get a new version of that particular AK that we've all seen on College Tracker for a long time, and maybe it's gonna have an actual modernized handguard, whether it's Veltor or a Zeneco handguard on the weapon, to really bring us in line with a modernized variant looking AK, which would be beautiful. But until then, this is going to have to suffice, and I think it's really good. It's definitely a really beautiful looking AK when all said and done, besides the wires, which may or may not take you out of it, depending. But I think I can look past it for now. Hopefully we get something nicer in the future. But really nice AK overall. Again, this and the MP7 do have the Dismembered Effects, which you will see in the gameplay here. As I use it, you'll see that basically it will blow up your enemies. So when you're shooting them, they're gonna have an electrocution effect, and then they're basically gonna explode, and there's nothing left of them. So this is probably the most dismemberment we've seen with any weapon so far. And again, that's both for the AK and the MP7, even though I'm not using the MP7 here on Sling. But again, very nice looking. Overall, I think it's a really good AK. So let me know what you guys think down below. Is this worth 2,400 COD points? To me, absolutely, just because I'm an AK guy. I think it's probably the best AK blueprint we have so far. The most closest to what I think we've been kind of looking for on this channel, and what I've personally been requesting. So for now, like I said, it'll have to do. It looks nice, it's fun to use, and it just offers that unique aesthetically pleasing look to the AK, which just makes it more fun to use when you have a more up-to-spec modernized variant of the AK look. And now, even though this is a little bit sci-fi, again, you just got to look past that. I think it's a really nice blueprint overall, completely worth the 2,400 COD points, which all the more reason if they were to make an actual modernized AK with the Veltor handguard or a Zeneco handguard on there for an Alpha AK, put that in store, charge me whatever you want, and I'll buy it. So hopefully they end up doing that. Also, the built-in underbarrel on this weapon is really nice too. I think it almost reminds me of like a Zeneco RK1 foregrip or underbarrel attachment for a lot of weapons. So I think that's really all they would need to do, is just reskin this barrel essentially, and you have basically exactly what we need. So maybe we'll see that going forward. have to wait and see. But let me know down below what you guys think of this. I'm just going to basically let this gameplay play out. You'll see me use a couple of the different AKs in here as well, just so you guys get a feel of what it looks like, how they handle. Let me know down below what you think. Will we get a more modernized variant of the AK? This is really nice for sci-fi, but will we get that Alpha AK? Do you think we'll get the Bellator weapon system key mod handguard on there? And you can see, again, silhouetted, it's basically the exact same. So hopefully they just do a reskin, and that's what we end up getting in the FSB bundle whenever that does eventually come out. I know they already released the Riot Shield as a challenge, so something's delaying that, and I'm curious if it happens to be that they're reskinning the AK. Is really the only thing that would make sense to me, is they're either reskinning the AK and or the operator for that particular bundle. So again, we'll have to sit tight, wait and see what happens with that. Let me know what you guys think of this bundle down below. What do you think of Planet in Verdansk? We will be live streaming tomorrow. Probably do the Zombies mode for the nighttime version of Warzone, which is actually a lot of fun. That Zombies version, a lot of fun to play. Played a couple games today, and definitely it's a nice change of the game. Nice change of pace, and it's actually a lot of fun. So I'm sure we'll get some good squads and just kill a lot of zombies tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be streaming that tomorrow here on the channel, here on YouTube tomorrow night, around 7 or 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And until next time, I'm going to leave you guys just with the gameplay so you guys can get an idea of how this handles, what the blueprint looks like, and how especially those dismemberment effects look, and see if this is something you want to buy. So stay tuned, watch that. Let me know down below what you guys think. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you're liking the content. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, Buffering Gaming, out.
Reloading. Enemy in the courtyard.
On Viper 1-1 on.
Got that one. Setting Claymore. UAV ready.
This is Falcon 3-0. Look out. UAV beginning flyover. Stand by.
Fucking down.
Returning to resupply.